Yo, what is up, guys? I am back. I'm going to be going over UFC Sacramento, Hernandez versus Rodrigues. This fight card is not bad. Let's get right into it. I'm going to go bottom to top, whole card. Film study is done. It's a good card, honestly. Like, for the fight nights that we've been having, it is not that bad. Top to bottom, it's got a lot of good fights, a lot of prospects, some mid fights, but, that's how it is. Right into it. Shane Lee Dyer, Elias Reed. This one is an easy pick. Shane Lee Dyer, PFL fighter. She was not bad. She's, a good range fighter, good kicks, good frame for the division. Elias Reed is a can. She's a 1-1 fighter, win one, lose one, and she is just not that great at all. And I'm going to pick Shane Lee Dyer. Easy pick on this one. Not much to say. Wes Schultz versus Jackson McVeigh. This one is hilarious, bro. I saw this and I was like, what are we doing? Two Jesus impersonators. But, Wes Schultz should easily get this one done. They actually did fight in the amateurs, and Wes Schultz did submit him. So, I still think that's going to be the result in this one as well. I just think that, Jackson McVeigh is terrible on the ground. He got submitted in 2 of his losses. So I just don't think he's going to show that much. And he's not really that impressive on the feet. He's a bigger guy, a longer guy, but I just don't think that, he's going to be able to use that because Wes Schultz has great cardio, great chain wrestling. He just puts it together well. His striking isn't that great, but he really does have a lot of, energy when it comes to the grappling. And I think that he's going to be the level above in that. This fight is kind of just mid, though. I'm not going to lie. Other than the beautiful hair, bro, post-fight press conference, we're going to interview both of them on what they use for their hair, like shampoo, conditioner, full routine and everything. But, bro, it's just not a good fight. On to the next, Gage Young versus Stan Dorseville. Gage Young will win this. And my reasoning for that is I just feel like Stan Dorseville is just not going to, have the levels on the feet. I just feel like, Gage Young can put it together well. He has a lot of good, straight shots, and he has good jab, great point fighter. And, Stan Dorseville is a pressure fighter, but I just don't think that he'll be able to sustain that against Gage Young. He's going to be looking to get the grappling done, but I think Gage Young will be able to, circle well and pop the jab and just continue to, hit shots on Stan Dorseville. I don't think that Stan Dorseville's striking is at the level that Gage Young is at. And Gage Young has done well in the UFC. He hasn't fought great competition. He fought Thiago Moises, but, I just think he's going to be that little bit better. Stan Dorseville, a little bit taller, but not by much. And I just don't think that he has many advantages in this. So Gage Young should get this done pretty easily. This is my guy. I don't think he'll get ranked or anything, but he is a good fighter. And I don't think that this is really a step up in competition or anything. So, yeah, Gage Young should get this. I'm going to say decision, honestly. Decision. Mauricio Barbosa versus Ryan Coos. This is actually just disrespectful. And, this is going to be a murder. I'm not going to lie. Because watching the film, bro, Ryan Coos he's buns, bro. He's buns, and he shows up in the boxing way too much for my liking in this fight. I honestly think that he's just gonna crawl up in a ball, bro. Like Anthony Smith, classic, dude. But I don't know, because his kicks are okay and he has a little bit of wrestling, but I think from the jump he's just gonna be super scared of the power. Like Barbosa is one of my favorite prospects. This dude just has absolute dynamite in his hands. So it's a mismatch. You know what I mean? They gave him an easier fight in his last one, and they continue to give it to him, which I like. Build the guy's highlight reel up, and should be easy. I'm gonna say round 1 KO. Honestly, bro, I don't even think this is gonna get to the second round. Definitely not the third round. I just don't see Ryan Coos being able to defend these strikes. Barbosa has really good power, and Coos just has nothing, bro. Just straight only kicks and a little bit of wrestling. So you're cooked, buddy. You're cooked. Straight to the highlight reel. On to the next one. Chris Padilla versus Nasrat Haqparast. This one is a good scrap. It's a closer fight, but I do think that Nasrat Haqparast is going to get it done. just being that I think he's a better striker. Chris Padilla is not bad at mixing it up, but I just don't think that he'll be able to put it together in a way where he's going to decisively get this. And I do think that Hasperat will be able to, have moments in the striking. He did beat Esteban Ribovics, and that's impressive. So he has pop. He did get colded by Killian Salakid badly, bro. His parents own a bakery, but dude, it's cooked. It's cooked. I think that's the only underlying thing where I'm like, this is a little scary. Even though Chris Padilla, I just don't think they has finishing potential in this one. But the way that Hasperat went out, it was really bad. He was out for several minutes, and that is scary. That is scary. Even though Chris Padilla doesn't really have pop like that, really is kind of more of a point fighter where he'll mix it together, find ways to just get the decision. But, Hasperat should be able to get this one done. I'm going to say by decision, honestly. I think he'll accumulate enough damage. I think Chris Padilla will have his moments, maybe hold him against the fence or, find some wrestling moments and, have a decent jab and, distance management. But I don't think that he'll have enough power to decisively, get the dub over him. So I'm going to pick Nasrat Hasperat, but, on to the next, Kennedy and Nzechukwu versus Shamil the Blob Gaziev, bro. This is my guy right here. This is all our guy, the GOAT. It's been rough lately with him, but, bro, the title run starts now. The title crawl starts now. Shamil the Blob Gaziev, he should be able to win this. I'm not going to lie. I just think that Kennedy Nzechukwu is so mid. He has, no skills. I think he fought Martin Buchecha last time and drew. That was one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my life. More on the fault of Martin Buchecha, but, still, Shamil Gaziev should be able to find the two up the middle. I think he can knock Kennedy Nzechukwu out. Shamil Gaziev's striking defense is kind of ass, I'm not going to lie. But, he has some pop. He has a little bit of pop. I think that he'll be able to find that, and even if he needs to, he could wrestle. He doesn't shoot too many takedowns, but if he needs to, he'll wrestle. And Nzechukwu really only finds success moving forward, and, he could do decent at finding body shots and walking forward, but I don't think that Shamil Gaziev's going to let him do that. He's the Blob, bro. He's the Blob. Blob Nation, title crawl, easy work. I think Shamil's going to get it done. I'm going to say second round KO. They're going to be hands on the hips and everything, but it'll be a good fight for the first 5 minutes, and then they'll get tired. Second round coming out, Shamil the Blob, get it done. Easy work. On to the next, Jamal Emmers versus Lorraine Douglas. Honestly, I think that this is a lock. Lorraine Douglas is going to get it done. Jamal Emmers is not a bad fighter per se, but I just think Lorraine Douglas has a lot of pop on the feet, a lot better technically. A lot of pop. He's super impressive. Jab is strong. Jamal Emmers, looking into this, he actually did fight Corey Sandhagen and beat him a long time ago, which I didn't expect, but he's just not a good fighter, honestly. He gets caught, doesn't have the best wrestling necessarily. That's probably his path to victory in this one, wrestling, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Ryan Douglas is, up-and-coming young fighter. He's really good, so I think that this one's going to be round 2 KO, just really mixes it together well on the feet. Sometimes over swings, but really is decently calculated, and we'll be able to get it done easily. Lock of the card. Well, not lock of the card. Mauricio Barbosa is really the lock of the card, or Anthony Witt, because Anthony Witt is, bro, look at this guy. This is actually not fair. This is UFC career mode type shit. Anthony Witt was an NFL linebacker for the Jets, and now he's coming to take over. It's over, bro. You're cooked. Terrence Chapman, you're cooked. What are we doing here, UFC? I understand getting him up the rankings and everything, but, bro, just give him somebody already in the UFC. Terrence Chapman is absolutely a blob. Literally got stretch marks on the stomach. No disrespect, but, bro, Anthony Witt is a monster, and, his skills are not bad either. It's not like he's coming out there and just swinging or just going for some Brock Lesnar-ass takedown. He's decent. And, you could definitely see that in his Dana White Contender Series fight. He's just really good, making this debut 11 days after Dana White Contender Series debut. So I really just think that this is unfair, bro. Like, look at this dude. Why? Like, this dude is, we got to test this dude like once a week at least. This dude is jacked, and he's not the tallest, but I don't think it matters. Like, I actually don't think it matters. He will get cooked by like any top 5, top 10 guy, like most likely, but this is just like unfair for these unranked blobs, bro. Like, these Apex blobs are not ready for this shit, bro. Like, what are we doing? Anthony Witt, yeah, he's going to get this done easily. I don't know how he's going to get it done. I think he'll just be able to, if he can't knock him out, he'll get some wrestling done and just ground and pound. But yeah, Terrence Chapman, you're cooked, bro. You just got to go back, bro. I think you're getting cut after this, buddy. But on to the next, Carly Judice versus Jalissa Chavez. Carly Judice is a way better striker, way crisper. That's her nickname. And she's just going to get it done. She's going to get it done in the striking. Jalissa Chavez is, bro, she's a can crusher. She's a can crusher. She is not good, in my opinion. And I just think that, she just doesn't show anything impressive. I think that she has some takedown threat in this fight, but I think Carly Judice will be able to just stay on the outside, use the kicks, decent boxing as well. I just think this is a mismatch. I don't think they should have booked this. Chavez is not, she's mid, bro. She's mid. That's all I got to say. You know how it goes with WMMA. But Markel Medeiros versus Mason Jones. I think Mason Jones is going to get this done easily. Markel Medeiros is mid, bro. He's mid. And, bro, look at this. He got his last fight overturned to a draw after the fact against Chris Padilla, and he got beat up in that one. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't that bad. Like, it was a closer fight, but it really shouldn't have been that. You know what I mean? It shouldn't have been a draw. And Mason Jones, really good fighter, bro, comes out there for a scrap. I do think this is going to be a scrap. Like, this has, like, fight of the night potential. Like, I just think, they're close in skill, but I think Mason Jones is just that edge better in pretty much everything. He's entertaining as well. Really good fighter, brings the chaos, but still has some good, takedown defense, takedowns, good jab, and like he'll just be able to set it up really well. I think this is a bad fight for Markel Medeiros, and I think he's gonna get exposed right here. And yeah, I don't think he has much. Markel Medeiros is kind of a point fighter. He really doesn't have much finishing potential, especially against this level of competition. And I think Mason Jones is gonna get it done, but it will be a good scrap for sure. I'm gonna say Mason Jones by like 30-27 decision, where like maybe one round could be scored for Markel Medeiros, like something like that. So yeah, Mason Jones, easy win. On to the trifecta. These fights are not bad, honestly. Reiner de Ridder versus Roman Dolidze. I'm going to pick RDR, bro. The title run at 205 starts. Now, I think he gets cooked at this division, honestly. I think, a lot of these guys, hit too hard. And, bro, Bobby Knuckles is up here now, too. So you're cooked, bro, and you're cooked in the rematch. I did predict RDR winning, against Robert Whittaker in the first time. But I actually think at this division, like Robert Whittaker could do a little bit better. I don't know why. I just have a feeling. But Roman Dolidze, yeah, your time has come, buddy. You're cooked. Like, why are we making this fight at 205? Like, why are you giving him a middleweight at 205? It doesn't make sense. He's moving up anyways. But, yeah, I think that's going to be the difference for it. Roman Dolidze, just such a mid fighter, honestly. He has, like, okay wrestling. Striking is mid. I think if you're not able to knock out RDR or just hurt him, you're cooked if you don't have wrestling, especially. So, yeah, RDR should be able to pressure him. And I think that his cardio issues at this weight class will be figured out. I don't think that he's going to be gassing like he did against Brendan Allen and just not be able to find himself. I think, he'll be able to pressure Roman Dolidze. He'll be able to get the takedown, find the knees, find the submission. Honestly, I think I'm going to pick RDR by round 2 submission. I think that he'll just be able to make it a little dirty. He wants to make a statement, just being that last time out it wasn't the best. And yeah, bro, people forget, man. RDR, bro. Fraud check, Bo Nickel. You know what I'm saying? So That's my guy. On to the next one, Sergey Spivak versus Vitor Petrino. This is a good fight, close one as the odds suggest, and I do think Vitor Petrino is going to get this one done. I think, they're pretty even on the ground, but Petrino definitely has the advantage on the feet. A lot better hooks, a lot more explosive. I wouldn't be surprised if Spivak just, is able to grind him out in the wrestling, but Petrino is a little bit younger. Spivak has been in the UFC for about 7 years, so, it's going to be a hard fight. It's going to be a good fight. Spivak does have that, bro. He's a crafty vet, honestly, at this point. He's only 31, I'm pretty sure, but, he has fought really great competition, and that does give him the advantage. Petrino has fought a lot of cans, and, he got submitted by Anthony Smith. That's the one thing, bro. So, it's hard to pick Petrino when you step up the competition, but I am going to lean him, bro. I am going to lean him just because, I think he has more room for improvement, just being that he has the physical attributes and now he's just coming into his own at heavyweight. And yeah, I think he will be able to hurt Sergey Spivak. Spivak doesn't throw a lot on the feet of conviction. He really is kind of, throwing a lot of jabs, and he looks to get the wrestling done. But I don't think that's going to work too much against Petrino unless Petrino gasses himself out early. If Petrino can't, get the finish early on and then he tires himself out trying to get the finish, that is going to be problematic because, cardio-wise, I think Spivak can just grind the wrestling out. I do think, he is impressive with his ground and pounds, but I'm still going to pick Petrino. But I would steer clear of this if you're betting. I'm not going to lie. This is like a tough one to predict. I'm going to pick Petrino. I'm going to say, honestly, a decision. I'm going to say they're going to get tired and Petrino's just going to get the damage in round 1 and 2 done. Maybe gets like wrestled in the 3rd round, but not too badly. And it's going to be like 29-28 decision. On to the next and the main event. Anthony Hernandez, Gregory Rodrigues. This is a great fight, but I honestly think Anthony Hernandez is going to get back on the win column with this one. It's tough because Rodrigues is so much stronger. And I think, in that 1st and 2nd round, it's going to look so scary for Anthony Hernandez, just being that, we saw in the Strickland fight that he can get caught by the 2. And that's where Rodrigues will be scary. If he extends his combinations and is able to find the chin, your time has come. You're going to the shadow realm. I just think Anthony Hernandez will be able to grind out the wrestling. Like, that's really the thing. I think his cardio is so good when he's able to, make these fighters uncomfortable in the clinch, in the wrestling. He just can't get hit with a knee up the middle, but Rodrigues isn't too good with the knees up the middle. I've seen some times where he can find it, but, am I going to pick him just based on, a knee up the middle because, Hernandez got finished with that twice? It's a tricky pick. I think Hernandez will be able to tire Rodrigues out a lot. We saw against Cannonier, Rodrigues was just tired out and he got finished in the 4th round. And I just think we could see something similar here, just not in the same way. I don't think, obviously, Hernandez has that same strength as Cannonier. I think it would be more so in the wrestling. And, Rodrigues does have great takedown defense, but will it be enough in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round to not get submitted, to not get, ground and pounded? I do think that, he has to be more measured in this one. Like in the last one against Ferreira, that one was good because he was patient, and he can't use all of his energy throwing too many combinations. He needs to pick the right ones where Hernandez maybe leans back a little bit and, after the 2 throws the 3 and kind of catches the chin, or something that he did against like Hermanson. Something like that I could see him catching Hernandez with, but I don't think it's going to be a body shot for Rodrigues. Hernandez will win, bro. Hernandez was on like an 8-fight win streak before the Strickland fight, and Strickland he has the IQ. Like, you think that Strickland won't be able to pull it out, and we saw against Chimaev, like, he was able to get it done. Like, Strickland is not a scrub at all, bro. He showed it against Hernandez, and I think it's going to be showing in this one that Hernandez lost to the best of the best. Like, Strickland's the champ. Like, some people don't remember that. Like, I feel like this fight, odds-wise, I understand it just because of the knockout threat, but I think Hernandez is going to get back into the win column, and I just think he is going to be up there at the top of the division now. I think maybe after this one, he might be one fight away from the title, honestly. I don't know what they're going to do with Imavov. That's like the tricky thing because where is Imavov right now? Where is Imavov? He beat Caio Borralho, and he hasn't been seen once. Like, literally has not been seen. I haven't even seen like an interview of this guy. So I don't know if you're going to put him up against Imavov or if Imavov's going to get the shot against Strickland, and then maybe Hernandez can fight Chimaev. I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll see. I think, Hernandez, I think either round 4 submission or I'm going to say just decision. Maybe like 48, 47, 40, borderline 49, 46 type of thing where, Rodrigues maybe gets like first 2 rounds or first round, and then Hernandez is just going to be able to wrestle him and, not get caught, But, hey, man, that was my predictions. I think this was a great card, and I hope that these all hit. You know what I'm saying? So, not bad, honestly. I'm excited to see a lot of these guys fight. Mauricio Barboza, my GOAT right here. Bro, we got to get this guy on the channel banner. You know what I'm saying? Really good fight card. We'll see after all these guys weighed in. Everyone made weight, I'm pretty sure, for the most part. So, hey, man, I'm ready. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you. Peace.